Today we're going to review this 2026 Allied Able. So for this review, I broke my thoughts down into three categories. The first being the geometry of the bike. The bike has an aggressive fit, but it's still comfortable. I think that's really important. It definitely puts you in a very aerodynamic position. Like compared to other gravel bikes I've read, I feel very leaned forward, but it's still comfortable. And I think that's really important because if we're talking about riding gravel, you know, a lot of events are like 100 miles or something like that. So it needs to be comfortable to be in the saddle all day. And this bike definitely is, for me at least. I've felt very comfortable in it. And I'll get into the tires later, like the tire clearance, but there's no toe overlap or anything like that. Like the head angle and the bike is long enough to where there's no toe overlap. You're not clipping the front of your toe on the tire at all. So that's really good. And I know that's an issue that a lot of bikes that have had the larger tire clearance are suffering from right now, is a little bit of toe overlap there. One of the other issues that I've seen pop up in other bike models is the heel on the drive side can sometimes clip the derailleur for SRAM derailleurs. In this case, the chain stays nice and long, so there's no issue of that. Like it's a nice long bike. It feels really, really stable when you're going fast, and there's no issue of your feet clipping anything. A little bit of background on where I'm coming from as a cyclist. So I mostly, in the competitive sphere of cycling, am racing cross-country mountain bikes. And every once in a while, I do a gravel race, but I spend a ton of time on gravel bikes, like training and trying to like hunt KOMs on Strava and stuff like that, with the occasional gravel race. So that's sort of where I'm coming from with this, from this like competitive amateur racy kind of perspective. The second thing I want to talk about is the tire clearance, which is gigantic. You can fit big old tires on this thing. It's incredible. So right now I've got 2.25 Burts on this, and you can see there is so much room for clearance right there. If you wanted to go bigger than that for any reason. I've personally found that the Burts are the best tire that I've ever run by a lot on a gravel bike. It's not even close. The Burts are so good. All right, the third thing that I wanted to talk about was the drivetrain configuration. If you buy this bike built by Allied, it comes with a mullet configuration, which basically means it's going to have the SRAM Explorer crankset on the front and then a mountain bike configuration in the rear. So this particular one was the Rival build. So it was the Rival Explorer, I think a 42 tooth in the front. And in the rear, you get the Eagle cassette, which is like a 1052 range with the XO derailleur, which is incredible on steep climbs. I haven't felt really that spun out yet. Maybe a little bit on fast road descents, but who cares? There's always a compromise to be made. So the drivetrain configuration is excellent. It's perfect for riding steep gravel. You can definitely do like steep adventure-y stuff, like mountain bikey kind of stuff. And then out on kind of like classic gravel, it just flies. One other thing that, at least for me, I wasn't sure about, and I had to contact Allied. And side note, if you call Allied, a human will pick up. Like, you're not talking to robots at all. Like, a person picks up, and they're super knowledgeable and really, really helpful. Like really good people are working there that know what they're talking about. So that's a huge bonus of going with Allied. The thing that I wasn't sure about was the whole raw carbon. If you've looked on their website and looked at all their colors, they have these incredible colors. I mean, the Allied paint schemes are kind of second to none. And they're really, really expensive. So if you want just like the stock color, it says raw carbon. And what I wasn't sure if that was going to mean was kind of like the black side of the carbon, or that kind of carbon look where it looks like fibers are woven together. And I personally don't like the woven look. Maybe you do. I don't know. It doesn't matter. That's a preference. But I wanted to show you a close-up of the stock raw carbon paint job, so you could get a sense of what it actually looks like in real life. It's basically a matte black. Let me show you. things I don't like about this bike. Nothing. It's amazing. It's absolutely incredible. Like, it's a phenomenal bike. if you if you want a fast, awesome gravel bike, this is a good option. You won't regret it. The one thing I'll say is Allied is a little bit on the pricier side. If you went with something like an RE Schaefer, that's going to be a little bit cheaper. Especially if you already have all the components and you just need a frame. I think the RE frame is like $2,000 or something like that. Whereas this one, I think the frame is probably $4,000. So it's quite a bit more. That's kind of the one downside, but it's, the Allied is definitely priced in the range of what you would see, most other bike companies at. It's in the mix of things. So if you're wanting to see a little bit more how the bike handles kind of chunkier terrain, you can check out this video right here. This was a ride we did out of Moab, Utah, and it definitely got chunky by gravel standards.